Hi everyone, welcome back to Function Pilates. Today is our Wednesday workout and I'm working with Alex, who is currently a student in our teacher training program. So Alex already comes to us with quite a bit of movement experience. She's taught at Body Bar and she's practiced at Legree. So she's very familiar with the more athletic style of movement, but through teacher training, she's really starting to explore more of the traditional Pilates exercises and realizing that sometimes slowing things down, getting more precise and going back to those foundational movements can be incredibly challenging. So Alex has been also dealing with chronic back pain that's been improving. She injured her right foot and broke her toe several years ago, and everything seems to be fine with the foot now, but as we work together today, we're going to see whether that previous injury is still influencing any of her movement pattern. So some of her biggest goals right now are improving her spinal health, supporting her joints, and continuing to build the core strength that can better support her spine. So one of her favorite exercises that has actually become Swan on the chair, because she loves how it helps her open up through her chest and find more length through her spine. So now when I look at Alex's postural assessment, a few things immediately stood out to me. So she has an anterior pelvic tilt, so we're seeing more tightness through the low back, with less support coming from the abdominals. She also has a slight right over left lateral shift where that right side looks a little bit more condensed and shortened, along with some leftover right rotation through the hips. I actually didn't know about her previous foot injury when I initially looked at her photos. So once we started talking and she told me about it, it gave me another piece of information to consider. And that's what I want you to notice throughout today's session. So we're not automatically assuming that one thing caused another. We're asking questions, we're observing how she moves, listening to what she's feeling, and then seeing how all of those pieces may connect. So I also want to point out that I leave the client intake portion in these videos on purpose. If you're working with a private client, I want you to hear the types of questions I'm asking and how I'm interacting with the person in front of me. So this is where you're building trust, you're learning who your client is, you're listening to what they're telling you and creating a foundation for how you're going to work with them. So then we observe the body, we assess them in real time and start putting all of those pieces together. So especially if you're an instructor or going through teacher training, don't skip past the client intake part. It's just as valuable as watching the actual workout. And throughout the session, don't just watch the exercises. I want you to listen to the dialogue. What questions am I asking? What does Alex tell me? How does the information influence what I do next? So watch where I'm standing, where my hands-on corrections are, what I'm observing before I make the correction, and when I choose to step in versus allowing her to just move. So those little details are such an important part of learning how to work with the actual person in front of you rather than just simply teaching a list of exercises. So Alex was such a great student to work with because she was present, communicative, and willing to really explore what she was feeling in her body. So whether you're following along with today's workout or observing from an instructor's perspective, I think you're going to get a lot out of this session. And again, all the details for the Function Pilates Teacher Training Academy are linked below in the description box. So whether you're ready to become a Pilates instructor or you're already an experienced instructor who's ready to take that next step and elevate into our Master Trainer program, you can find all the information below. So let's go ahead and get started with Alex's workout. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about your postural assessment. But first, tell me again your Pilates experience.
So I've been teaching Pilates for about probably like 8 months now-ish. Practicing Pilates before that, just like on and off. Like I would go on ClassPass and go to random classes. I would take Legree a lot, so I did like more of like the challenging. But now that I'm getting more into classical, I like classical too. Because I'm like, this is hard too.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was mostly like yoga, weightlifting, rock climbing, things like that I would do for workouts.
Wow. rock climbing.
Yeah, I work at a climbing gym, so.
Oh my God. Do you actually go out on like the mountains and?
Sometimes with friends, yeah. I have friends that have all the gear, and then you climb like on the. But usually I do indoor climbing. Indoor climbing is just easier.
That would terrify me.
It's fun. It's fun. Well, if you're outdoors, usually you got the harness and the rope and everything.
And you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Somewhat.
Okay. So then, any injuries I should know about?
Not really. I used to have really bad like chronic back pain, but it's kind of got better over the years. I had like some issues with like my neck after like a car accident a while back. I don't know that it was necessarily an injury, but I find that it's like mostly normal. So
no like surgery or no physical therapy on it or anything like that?
No, nothing crazy.
Okay.
Like I broke my feet once upon a time, but like they're healed, they're just fractured, but I could still feel like my pinky toe, like the bone's a little loose in there.
Okay.
Things like that, but nothing crazy.
Okay.
Nothing
All good
really
stuff to know, honestly, because
Really?
it's going, yeah, because even though like things like that happened years ago, it could still be playing a part in your everyday life.
Little imbalances, right? Because it could be like, sometimes I feel like I don't put as much weight on like one side of my foot just because of,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Okay, so what have been your personal goals with Pilates? Not as an instructor, but like your personal goals.
Personal goals. I like that it helps with like your spine health, and it helps like with my back pain and stuff. Like it helps like all the joints and everything. It makes me feel better. I like the core strength that it builds. I'm like really big on core moves. I love doing like core on the.
Is there any specific type of movement or exercise that you would say that has helped your relief of your chronic back pain?
I feel like all of it helps in different ways, but I like that it works on like the stabilizer muscles, like muscles that you wouldn't normally use, you know, and something about building up the core strength kind of, I think helps the back pain in a way. I don't know why, but like it helps to like realign your spine so that you're not like, like your weight is more evenly distributed in your body when you have better posture, you know? I find that like doing a lot of Swan too, it helps to like open up. So like Swans on the chair have become like my fave.
Yes.
But yeah, I just think that like I feel good in my body. I used to do more weightlifting. Like that was how I started out with like exercise back in the day. And I just feel like it's a little bit harder on your joints and on your body. You know, not that it would necessarily cause pain, but sometimes I would feel a little bit more like, I don't know, like weightlifting, like deadlifts and things like that would sometimes, like I stopped doing back squats because I feel like it would put too much pressure on my spine, versus when I do Pilates, it like relieves the pressure because you're working, like you can do really strong moves, but you're working your body in different ways. It's not putting so much like weight on your body.
So much load.
Yeah, so much load.
Yeah.
And so I just find that it's like a little bit easier on my body, and it just makes me feel better. Like you have that feeling, you know?
Yes, absolutely. So. No, I love that. Okay, so let's take a look here at your photos. So one thing I noticed right off the bat, anterior pelvic tilt. So basically with your pelvis kind of rocking forward, it's creating a little bit more exaggerated curvature in your low back, which could also lead to the chronic pain. So you're gonna be super tight in your low back. You're gonna have weaker sense of abdominal strengthening. I did also notice that you have a tendency to kind of like lean into more of your right side. So your right is a little bit more laterally tighter. So it's almost like I want to open up that entire right side and to strengthen your left side. So right side is tighter, left side is weaker. But I do see a little bit of left over right hip rotation, meaning like your left side is coming forward more so than your right. And you can see that in this photo a lot, and you can see that in this photo a lot. Where you see how like you're a lot more aligned here. That's why the red line is there. So it's going up and down. So
yeah,
we call it the plumb line.
How it looks so much more centered here versus here.
Yes.
So that means that this hip is, that's interesting because my friend like adjusted my hips, and she said that like one hip was like higher than the other.
Yeah.
And whenever I do Pilates or yoga, when I do the like wide-legged fold, if I look in the mirror, like my right hip is like this. And it's just like weird how my body just like naturally does that. I have to like consciously pull it down. And sometimes I'll sit, like my friend told me, don't sit like that because it misaligns your hips. And so I think, I don't know where it comes from, but yeah, I think there's definitely like
these are patterns. These are patterns that we'll see in a lot of people from just daily routine. And like you said, just little things like that. You didn't even think about, like me sitting on my foot is creating a misalignment in my pelvis. Like, yeah.
Because I also drive like this, and I don't know if that's bad, but I'm like, because I keep one leg up. I don't know. It's like so much more comfortable. So it's interesting.
Yeah. And so it's like, what's contributing to our postural patterns at this point? And those are the things, that's why I'm pointing those out. But yes, does anybody see this in you in the naked eye? No, they have no idea that there is a misalignment there.
It's interesting too, like you can kind of see the pelvic tilt here, but then I feel like here it looks better. So it's like, it's only almost tilting on like one side. Or?
So have you ever taken a photo and you're like, hey, I need to be on this side, like my better side?
I don't know. I feel like I don't, but I usually will take a photo this way. So I guess that's my left side.
So there's something about, like, we naturally know, like, hey, this is like my better side. I don't know why, but apparently my posture likes that.
Then you get into the energetics, and then like this is feminine, this is masculine, right?
I mean, if we dive in deeper on that method, there could be a whole nother story, a whole layer here. But yes, okay, so the primary focus is on tightness on the bottom right side of your low back. Mm-hmm. That's where I am guessing is at. Yeah. Is that where you feel it?
My back pain was always up here. It was in shoulder blades area, like right between my shoulder blades on both sides. Okay. So I never had low back pain, but it could be like sometimes it stems from somewhere else, you know? I know that it
works like in a perpendicular effect.
All connected. So
yes.
Like, I don't know.
So that's where I'm gonna like really pay attention to. And then right over left shoulder dominant is what I'm looking at as well here too.
Because my right shoulder is higher than my left, or?
Not necessarily, but do you see the space between your arm and your shirt here?
Oh.
That's what I'm looking at. Also, you are laterally flexed to the right side. So it looks and appears like your right arm is longer, but it's not. It's because your torso is leaning to the right side. So
wild.
So with that being said, it's creating more space in between your arm and your shirt, so that it looks like this side is tighter. But also, like when you see here, see how much more in front your left arm is as opposed to your right arm?
Yeah.
And it's just tighter over there. The lats are tighter. So it's kind of like, you've been to the gym quite a bit. That's what you're saying. Yeah. You ever see those guys that walk in and they're like this? Yeah. Like, I'm over exaggerating, but you know what I mean? They're like super arms
wide.
Are open. Yeah. It's because their lats are so tight. They're working their upper body like no other. Like, they're not working their lower body, right? When women go in there, they're working their lower body.
They're working lower body more than upper body, yes.
So when you see that kind of reaction to the limbs, it's because the muscles are tight, and so they just need to be loosened and relaxed, and they're just holding up in a sense. So that's where I'm going with that.
Interesting.
But yeah, so this is what I'm seeing from here, and it's so much about becoming aware of like what's going on in your body, so that you know, like just like you said in yoga, when you do a forward fold and a wide-legged stance, you're like, oh yeah, my hip is up, and we are going to do roll downs in here because I want to see like, where is it? Because it could be, you know, the hamstring is tighter. It could be like that low back is just not releasing, which is why you like Swan so much. It's a whole sense of like stretching the low back. It's great. And if you know the reasons to that, that's how you can customize more to the individual.
Yeah.
And to yourself.
It's very interesting. I've never like dived this far into like clients and stuff, so.
Oh, that's what this whole thing is about.
Yeah.
That is what this is about. And that's why I do this with you guys.
Yeah.
So that you guys can take what you're learning right now in teacher training and integrate it the right way into becoming like understanding what you're being taught at that point.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to use all this information, and how can I educate another person? Now that you have more knowledge, you're like, actually, I want to share this information a different way than I was before.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm gonna have you go ahead and let's go ahead and lie on your back. Let's see here. Okay, and just kind of get comfortable there in a sense. And I just want you to go into some pelvic tilts. Because of that anterior pelvic tilt, I'm just a huge fan of just starting to really open up and stretch out the low back. So just taking your time with that. And I'm just making some observations from everywhere. And this is the thing, is like once you got yourself down on the mat here, this is where the assessment starts to come into play. So let me have you release and relax there. Now hold for a second. Let's move your hips to the left for me. Yeah, and just a smidge to the right. Right there, yes, okay. Now from here, continue to move into your pelvic tilts. Does that change anything? Does that feel any different?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Is this more centered?
Yes, it is centered.
Because I was more to the right before.
Yeah, and sometimes we just like don't know. So you might be like, oh, well, this still feels fine. Or you might be like, this feels like I'm really to the left. So it just depends on where we're at in space.
It does kind of like feel off center, but if I'm so used to being to the right, then that would make sense, you know.
Which we decoded in your postures, remember? Mm-hmm. Your torso leans more to the right. So that's where we're gonna be paying attention. So last one there, Alex. And then I want you to think about like pushing your right hip bone into the mat and then transferring that weight to the left hip bone. And just gradually allow your body to make these movement patterns. And you may notice that there could be some stickiness, there could be just like some resistance to this, or you might feel like you're moving freely. But most likely you're going to be feeling some resistance in the mobility of the back. Good. And then I want you to combine this method. So make a huge circle. So think of your pelvic floor as a 6 o'clock hour, your left hip the 3 o'clock hour, your right hip the 9 o'clock hour, and creating this circle all the way up to your belly button as the 12 o'clock hour. And really trying to stabilize through the knees and continue. Let's do a couple more that direction. How's this feeling for you?
It's good, yeah. I definitely feel like when I'm on the right side, I feel a little more pulling in the lower back, almost like it's stretching out, like it's tighter on that side.
Yep.
And then the left side feels fine. So, and actually now that I think about it, I've had like more pinching on my inner right thigh. So I'm like, maybe it's all connected.
It is.
Like when I do like my stretching with yoga, like I'll feel like a lot of, like it'll be really tight on this side. So maybe that's because I'm always like leaning on that side.
Could be, yeah. But try to make your knees more parallel for me. Yeah.
Keep them still.
Yep. And then let's reverse it. Let's reverse that circle. And sometimes this might feel like really awkward and weird, like I'm not moving anywhere, or something just not adding up the right way. And you're going slower here. I don't know if it's on purpose, but my guess is that it's more intentional, and because things are just not as fluid as it was the other side.
Oh, slower on this side?
Yeah, you're moving slower in this direction. Good.
Not sure why.
That's okay. We're still in observation mode here. Good. And then I'm gonna have you just pause right here. So take your hands and hold on to the pegs for me and allow your elbows just to stay wide. Yes, just like that. And let's take the legs up into tabletop here. All right, so once we're here, let's connect your legs like as they're a unit. Point out through your toes for me. And now I'm gonna have you close your ribs, drop into my hand here. Do you feel the difference? Mm-hmm. That's where I want you to stay. That's home base. And then you're gonna go ahead and take your legs over to one side, keeping your left shoulder blade down and connected. This is our supine spine twist, right? Mm-hmm. And from this position, when you can't go any further because that left shoulder blade wants to lift, I want you to engage, press into my hand here, and use your abdominals to pull your lower portion of your body back through center. Like it has to do the work. It has to put in the effort through the obliques. Yes, let's take it over to the opposite side. Keeping those knees hugging together as a unit. Right shoulder blade stays down. Draw those abs in towards your spine, keeping everything tight and engaged, and using that breath out through your mouth to pull through center. So it's like we want to create this heaviness in our legs here. And we're putting all of the attention on the abdominals, the oblique muscles specifically, to help us facilitate the movement. And pull back through center, beautiful. And let's take it over to the left one more time. And nice and slow, let's curl it back up again. Good, now hold here. Let's bring the arms up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna pull your knees in a little closer to you. And I want this to encourage you to flatten your back more. So you've heard the term imprint through the low back. Think of like imprinting, literally flattening your low back into the mat as much as possible. And I'm okay with the knees coming in closer to you. So palms are looking at me. You're going to curl up, exhale, flex. Think of reaching a little bit more with that right side. Lift up a little higher on your right side, I should say. There you go. That's excellent. Now lower everything back down. Good. Same thing. We're gonna go in for another 5. Exhale to curl up. And we're just creating some flexion in the spine, getting some heat and warmth into the midsection. Beautiful. Exhale, curl up. As you lift, lower your arms down a little bit more. Yes, so they're hovering right off that carriage. And release. And lift for 3. Lower down a little bit more with the arms. That does make a difference. And then back up. And 2. Beautiful. And back up. One more time for me. Now, hold it right there. I want you to reach further with your left side. Like laterally flex, like reach with your left fingertips as far as you possibly can. Then go ahead and reach with your right fingertips as far as you possibly can. Continue for another 4 and 3. Trying to keep your legs super quiet and still. 2 and 1. And then go ahead, bring back through center, arms come up and rest it there. Good. Okay, so then from here, we're gonna go right into your footwork, okay? So let's just go ahead and I'll have you scoot up a tiny bit more. There you go. And let's have the heels come on top and we're gonna flex the feet. So just like that. You can relax your arms down beside you. And let's take a mental note here to pull those ribs in, drop. So it's almost like I want you to almost like tuck your tailbone. Yes, do you feel the difference there?
I thought we were supposed to have neutral spine when doing stuff like this.
We are, but because there's more of an exaggerated anterior tilt, I want to basically stretch out your low back in a sense. So there are ways that we want to maintain neutral spine. In this case, this is getting you more into your neutral spine.
To reset, yeah.
Yeah. Is that
it makes
processing?
Sense, but that's why I asked, because I feel like normally ab moves you want to be neutral, right, instead of imprinting, but with this, like, that makes sense because it's.
And you're gonna most likely, as we start moving, consistently lose this sense of positioning. So I'm going to really keep tuning in, reminding you to. Okay. So from here, let's go ahead and push out to 2 straight legs, and then start to slowly lower back in, resisting those springs. Exhale to press out. And then slowly starting to resist, pause, and then extend. And return back in. Okay, so I'm gonna place my hands underneath your feet here. So maintain connection with my hands as you're doing this, and see how that changes the feeling of the exercise for you. What do you notice?
I just feel a little more engagement of the feet, I guess.
Okay, good. Yeah, because the whole purpose with footwork is to go ahead and strengthen the ankles, the knees, and the hips. So if you're not feeling your ankles and you're allowing your ankles and your feet to teeter-totter back and forth, you're actually not receiving the full benefits of why we are doing this in the first place. And you already said with the foot injury before, this is important for you.
Yeah,
Good. And last time, press out and return back in. Beautiful. Okay, let's come down to your toes. Let's go ahead and lift them up nice and high. Again, having equal weight distribution through those toes is going to be important. And extend. Exhale. And come back in for a second. I'm gonna have you place your foot on this. Okay, do you have a good grip there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, go ahead and extend out. Ooh, I like that better. And press. Let me lower down a tiny bit more on this right side. Okay, right there. Yep, stay with it. Yes, does that feel different to you?
It's hard to tell. I mean, it feels like I'm standing on a little platform, but like hip-wise, I'm not sure. I think my body's just so used to the way it was.
Okay. As you're pressing out, think of pushing intentionally with both at the same time. Extend out. More specifically on this side, can we lower the back of your knee down? Yes. What does that feel like?
I felt it kind of engaging more quad there, but...
Because this side is having a hard time extending out all the way.
Interesting.
So
hopefully one leg isn't longer than the other.
It's not that it's longer, it's going back to the misalignment of the rotation.
Maybe this leg is used to like taking over, so this one's just like taking a back seat in a way, maybe?
Well, because of the left rotation through the hip, it's coming forward, so it's making this appear longer. Therefore, when we're pressing out, you're not getting the full type of elongation through the back of the left side. So I'm giving you a platform here so that you can receive both of the benefits equally.
Yeah.
But this is coming back from the hip misalignment.
Yeah.
That's what's occurring here.
It's very interesting.
So if you think about pushing down with your left hip even more so than your right side,
that feels
do you
different.
see that the difference?
Yeah, that feels different.
I want to do two more like this so you kind of remember what that feels like in your body here. So much better. Oh my God, I love it.
It's so weird how our bodies just get so used to like the way they are. You know what I mean? It's wild.
It is, well, and especially if you don't have anyone telling you.
And you don't notice it, yeah,
You wouldn't
because
know.
then you get so used to like those patterns.
Yeah, that was actually a little bit better just on its own. Okay, let's move you up to your heels. Let's go up here to a wider stance. Let's flex the feet. Let's see how this is going. Go take it from the back. Yeah, I still want to give you that platform because it was helping. Let's bring this. Yeah. Got a good grip there?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Extend out. Again, think of the left hip pressing into the carriage as much as possible. Yeah. Exhale, press out. That looks better. Does that feel better?
It feels different.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell, but...
Well, what I'm seeing is that this side is just opening up so much more, and it has that opportunity to open up so much more than it was receiving before. So now, you know, we're getting somewhere. So if you're going to be doing footwork, it's like, we might as well be getting like the most out of it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then come back in. Okay, so let's do the same thing down to your toes. I'm going to keep the platform here. Okay, and then extend out. Beautiful. And then the knees, I do want them just about shoulder distance apart. Press. Love it. I like this a lot more. So whenever you're doing footwork from now on, I want you to really think about that left hip being pressed down into the carriage more. And you don't have to, you don't have to have this exact wedge or anything, but if you're like toweling up or you're finding like those grippies or something where you can pad it up, this will help to realign your pelvis. That's basically what I'm doing, is I'm helping to keep it nice and
reset the imbalance, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Let's
Very
just
cool.
do one more. And then let's bring it back in. Okay, good. And then let's go ahead back to the center here. We'll do some calf raises, and let's see. Before you drop down, come back in. I want to move these out just a little bit there. Okay, right there. And then let's have you drop your heels under there, Alex. Let's connect the heels together. Lift the heels up. Separate drop them down, connect, lift up. So you're just making this little pattern here. But what we're doing is we're emphasizing a little bit more of that intrinsic work of the ankle. So you're gonna feel that burn start to increase.
I feel the burn.
Yes, good. And lower, together, lift, pause. Now let's reverse it. We lower first, we separate, we lift, together, and drop. Separate, lift, together, and drop. Yes. Excellent. And 2 more like this. And relax it. Come on back in. Okay, so let's go ahead into, I want to do some unilateral arm work / ab work on you, okay? Because of the tendency of the right side being so much tighter than the left side, I want to really create that balance in you. So we're gonna start with the left side.
Okay.
I have you on a medium spring here, so it should be a comfortable weight. Go ahead and hold on to that for me. And then have some tension. So yeah, the wrist is over the shoulder, but let's bring one leg at a time into the tabletop positioning. Yes, and hold those. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now, because of this wants to pull you to one side, I really want you to think about keeping the pressure of your left hip into the mat, okay? You're gonna pull straight down. And then super slow, we're gonna come right back up. And exhale to press down. And inhale it up. Good. Drawing those abs down away from your waistband. And we'll go for 4 more. So when we talk about the core, we talk about the 4 components of the core. The pelvic floor being 1, the diaphragm, so you're using your breath as 2, your transverse abdominis is your deepest ab stabilizer, that's 3, and the multifidus is your deep back stabilizer, that's 4. So if we're not using all of those 4 components, how can we strengthen the core? Hold it right there. You're gonna go ahead and lift your elbow up. It's like you're sliding your hand into a pair of jeans, but keep your fingertips reaching for me. There you go. And the palm is gonna stay parallel to the floor. And then bend, hold, exhale, extend. Yes, you got it, that's it. How's those ribs doing? Low back is down.
Trying to pull them in.
Yep, you're doing great. And let's go for another 3. Soft through the neck and the shoulders. Exhale, 2. And this is initiating from underneath your armpit right into the lat muscles. Let that be the work and hold. We're gonna bend the elbow. We're gonna straighten out the arm. Fingertips always open. We wanna really encourage an open palm so that we don't increase tension or tightness through our neck. Because if you think about it, if you tighten something here, that automatically sends signals up to your neck and creates any tightness or tension that is unnecessary. And focusing on the tricep, you got it, you're doing beautiful. And nice job here with the balance of the tabletop. And let's take it for another 4. And 3. And 2. Good, last time. And arm comes back up. Find your feet to the foot bar and take a breather. Notice I didn't add flexion with you today on that, because this was a lot as it is to pay attention to like, what is my body doing, and I'm gonna be shifting around. If we've been doing this a lot of work together, then eventually I would add flexion for you. But I really want you to focus on maintaining this alignment.
The spine, yeah.
Yeah, so before you get rid of that, I'm gonna have you do some obliques. So I'm gonna have you take your right hand into the handle first, and then your left hand's gonna go right on top of it, fingertips reaching up. And we are gonna add flexion on this one, okay? So legs come back to the tabletop position, and then the knees are gonna send a little bit like a direction over here. So on this next breath, you're gonna lift up and reach towards me. So you're gonna take an exhale and curl, and then inhale to lower back down. Same side we're gonna focus on. Keeping those knees together and trying not to pull your knees into your chest, but you are literally reaching past your hips to quiet the lower limbs. Yes, 5 more. And you're doing great. And 4. And I also want to introduce you to what does it feel like when we actually rotate on each side. 2 more. And last time. And release. Come all the way back down. Excellent. Let's go ahead and set that down. Let's hang that up. We're going to do the other side here, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so this time left hand's just going to go for the ride there, one leg at a time into that tabletop. And again, if we need to over exaggerate to press that low back down, that looks good. Fingertips reaching. And again, the struggle there, because I saw that in the beginning.
I was like, oh.
Yes, what I want you to think about is this is not an arm exercise, okay? I want you to think of this as a back exercise. That this is where it starts to engage and start to turn on first before the arm even gets moving here. So activate, activate, activate. Yes. And back up. And take it down. Think of the equal amount of balance in your hips. And then look straight for me. Yes, let's not turn the head. There you go. And let's do one more here. You're doing awesome. Now pause. Okay, you're going to bend your right elbow and then again straighten your arm as you're putting your fingertips into your jean pockets. So you're maintaining this parallel positioning to the carriage, to the floor. Yes. And that same muscle group is still working, your lats are working. So the muscles right below your armpit, even your serratus. And let's take it for 4. Good. 3. Good. Exhale, 2. And 1. Now we hold here. This is where we do the triceps. So you're going to bend. Exhale, straighten. Good. Shoulder down. Bend. Exhale to straighten. Bend. Keep the elbow down a little lower for me. There you go. 5. Drop your right shoulder away.
It's really wanting to come up.
It is. Yeah, you feel it, huh?
And I didn't feel it on the left side, but that's weird.
And it's just tighter on this side too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, interesting.
Good. One more time. And then arm comes back up. And then lower the feet. Take a little breather there. Yes, and that's the thing is like I want you to build so much awareness of your body. Like you're like, I just know the things that my body wants to do. And you're like, nope, we're not doing that. So that means we need to slow down. And maybe you're like, I don't know, I'm just getting so exhausted after 5 repetitions, but I was able to do 8 on my left side. That's okay. Yeah. Because you were working harder to maintain its physical shape at that point.
I have been getting a lot of like pinching up in here. It was just interesting because when I had my whiplash, it was on this side. So I don't know, but it might be interconnected.
Everything is interconnected.
Yes. I'm like, suspicious. What's going on?
Right? You can do a little digging more deep so after this. So left hand goes in the handle, right hand goes on top, okay? So fingertips are reaching. Tabletop those legs. We're gonna shimmy them over a little bit. All right, so inhale to prepare. Exhale, we curl up. Reach over the right to the right, yes. And then back down. So this side already feels like different. I can even see visually that the rotation is less.
Interesting.
So if I'm standing over here, I want you to literally reach your fingertips to me.
It feels more pinchy.
It does?
Like more, it just
Where
feels,
does it feel pinchy?
I don't know. Let me see. Like it just feels like my torso doesn't want to rotate to that side.
It's just tight.
It just feels like stiff.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
But maybe like in the core, it feels the most pinchy. I don't know.
And last time. And then back down. Good.
It just feels like in there, it's just like, it's hard to explain.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like we can have weak abs, but we also can have areas in our abs that are tight.
Yeah, I don't think it's weakness per se, but maybe tightness for sure, because,
From the ribs kind of like popping up in that anterior pelvic tilt, it gets like pushed out and it gets to the point where it does feel like it's just in this position all day. So when I'm asking you now to stretch and lengthen out, it's not used to doing that.
It's like, nope.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Okay, how are you doing so far?
Good.
Okay, I'm gonna keep you there because we're gonna go into some hip work, but again, same idea. I wanna keep it unilateral. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna press out for me. Let's place your left foot in, and then you're gonna find your right leg in tabletop the whole time, okay? So we're just gonna hang out there in this very foundational place, and then arms are down beside you. Okay, I'm gonna let go of my foot here, so have some pressure there onto your loop, and then you're gonna send that down like you're painting the wall. So go ahead and lower down. And again, with this being so controlled with your foot in the loop, I really want you to focus on how your hips are moving. How can we create more stability? And in order to do that, we want to think activation with your pelvic floor, okay? So really getting those Kegel muscles engaged, and think of your inner thighs reaching towards one another, not literally, but think of them reaching towards each other to create more of that stability. And press down and back up. And reach down. Love it. Let's do 2 more here. Again, this facilitation is coming from your abs here as well. And hold. Let's go ahead, lower down to 45. Then you're going to bend back to your tabletop position. Yep, so knee over the hip, and exhale, press out with your heel. Good, and then bring it back in as for the inhale, and I'm just keeping my hand here because I want that knee over the hip, just so that this is the fact that we're building more of that hip strengthening. Nice. And then I like you to have that sense of direction where it's like if you're digging your heel into something, now we're getting the whole posterior chain of the leg activated. And extend. Good. You can even flex your foot a little bit more. There you go, that's it. And we'll do this another 4 more times. As you reach, think of reaching a little lower. Press there, that's it. And 3. And 2, keep the tracking. Don't even worry about where the rope is at. Just let the knee do the tracking here. Last time. Good. And then let's go ahead and keep the heels together. You're gonna go into frog. Knees are gonna go wide as your shoulders. And now you're gonna send it out towards my hand. Very different feeling. Again, we want to think of creating the sensation of the inner thighs pulling together here. Good. We call this a closed chain connection because now you get the feeling of having something else assist with you. But now it gets harder with that assistance too. Good. Soften through here. And let's press it out for another 4. And exhale, press out for 3. And 2. And last time. Great. And then go ahead and come all the way back in, finding your foot bar right away, a little higher up. There you go. I'm gonna remove this and let's get you going on the other side here. How's the body feeling so far? Good. Okay. All right, so we take that one out, get full attention there. Find this nice active tabletop here, and then again, point your toes to lower the leg, like you are reaching out of your hip socket, really lengthening as far as possible. gonna lift this heel up a tad. Exhale, press down. Does one side feel easier or harder? Have you identified that yet?
I think the other side felt easier because I keep feeling that my shoulders keep wanting to go like this.
To brace, like to maintain balance.
But it doesn't, it's like weird because like my leg doesn't really feel like it's struggling that much, but it's almost like this intuitive urge to just like, it's almost like a self-guarding. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
It's like I want to be tense for some reason.
No, it makes complete sense.
But it's not like that heavy. You know what I mean? Because my leg is strong, but it's like, it's interesting.
You had mentioned, hold it right there. Go ahead and bend into tabletop, flexing your foot. Again, try to not pay attention to the rope at all. I want that knee tracking with your hip. Right there. And press through here. Yes, try to maintain that nice parallel alignment. Do you feel the difference there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel a difference for sure.
It's more stable, but what I want to go back to is that you had mentioned earlier in our intake session, you had it was the right foot with the injury?
They actually both were broken, but that one was broken on my pinky toe. This one was just like the top of my foot. So this one feels fine, it feels normal, but since my pinky toe was fractured, I can feel the bone, like it doesn't necessarily hurt like it's broken, but I can feel that the bone is loose in there. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it's like a little piece of bone got fractured. When I do certain yoga poses, sometimes it rolls and it like, I can feel the bone moving and it feels uncomfortable. So I almost feel like maybe it's just like this intuitive like desire to not feel that. So I just almost like don't put as much weight on it or something. I don't know.
It could...
something like that.
You could totally be 100% right, but this, to me, the fact that there's more traumatic experience on that side is where you begin to get guarded.
Yeah.
Regardless of all the intricacies and stuff like that, it's more about that is where the trauma continues, where it lives, and it continues to like, okay, I don't know, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so then that's when we start to grip and we hold on, and it's like we need to like learn to release all of that. Like, because everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Last time here to press out. And let's go ahead and connect the heels together. Good. And then let's bend it back into your frog position. Good. Really pressing out. That's where we can take Pilates to a whole new place where we can really talk about the experiences of the mind.
Yeah.
And how does that dictate how we have movement patterns?
So it's true. Have you read the book, The Body Keeps Score?
I haven't read that one.
No, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard it's like, it talks about that, how your body like holds on to things, you know what I mean?
100%. This is why we dig so deep into the postural assessments, because what our brain actually thinks, it puts out and shows in our body. And I'll use confidence as like an example. So if you ever see someone like really slouched over, and I'm exaggerating, right? Like really rounded over, protecting themselves in this like shell because they don't want to be seen, because they're really wanting to hide from whatever it is out in the real world, that's a lack of self-confidence. Whatever that may be, right? That's where a lot of like the therapy comes into play, which is that's a whole new layer of where we can use Pilates for. Good, and then this is your last one here. Good, and then go ahead and bring it back in. How's this leg feeling?
Oh, it feels good, yeah.
Okay.
Feels fine.
Okay, so we're gonna do something fun here. I want you to go ahead and come back in, and we're gonna go into what we call the Typewriter. So let me add in another spring. So you're on 2 medium springs. We're gonna drop the headrest down. So lift your head up slightly. And this is going to, because the ribs are so overly tight, I want to like loosen everything up in there, okay? So it's basically a bridge, but do you remember a typewriter?
Like the typewriter?
Yeah. Okay.
I never really had one, but I know what they are.
Yeah, exactly. The motion of like when you hit enter and it like slides over, and then it's like you type and it slides back, and then you hit enter and it goes. That's like what I want you to literally feel with your ribs going back and forth. So I'm gonna talk you through it, okay? So let's take your arms down beside you. Let's have your heels parallel, hip distance apart for stabilization there. All right, so when you're ready, Alex, I'm gonna have you bridge your hips up for me. Okay, so you're high on your shoulder blades. Use your arms as leverage, like press those palms down. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna turn that. There you go. Now from here, I want you to think about your ribs coming towards to meet my hand over on this side. It's gonna feel weird.
Like move my ribs like this?
Like move your ribs, try to lessen the movement of your legs, but let's just get started here. And then move it back this way. And then let's try it again. Over to one side and over to the other. Come back through center. Now drop your hips down a tad. Right about there. Now let's repeat it. So we're gonna go over, and then you're gonna come back to this hand, and over, keep breathing. And we're gonna lower down your third level, drop your hips down a little bit lower, just hovering, and continue. Yes. Yep.
I feel like it's easier to go
So
to
that
the
side.
right,
Mhm.
yeah, versus the left.
Yep. And then you're gonna go ahead, come back through center, and everything's gonna go back down. We're gonna do this again, now that you understand. And I always feel like the first time, it's like the body doesn't know yet how to respond, and it's tighter. So let's just see how it hopefully opens up a lot more here. Okay, so from here, you're gonna go ahead and exhale to press up. We're gonna hold that positioning, yes. And then again, I want you to try that. You're going to, again, shift the ribs over to one side, shift them over to the other side, stabilizing as much as possible in your legs, which is hard, but this is what's gonna help really get into that area. And then we're gonna lower the hips down. You're gonna try it again. It's like over and over and over and over. Come back through center, lower down a little bit more, and again, we repeat. It's loosening up. Do you feel it?
It loosened up that third time, yeah.
Yeah.
That last time.
And come right back down. And I want you now to take your hands on your rib cage and separate your fingertips a little bit more. I want you to like breathe into your ribs so much that they're just expanding from each side of the room, and let out a big exhale. Yes, just naturally let those fingertips pull back together. Let's try this 2 more times. So as you inhale, like breathe into the hands, into your ribs, and then pull back together. 1 more, getting wider, 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 and pull back together. Love that. That is something I would encourage you. This exercise did a lot for that entire area, and do the breathing mechanisms afterwards, because it really expanded. It was almost like there was like this restricted breath. And I think that also went back to when you were saying there's like this tightness right here. So that's why I wanted to do this exercise specifically for you. Cool. Okay, so go ahead and exit off to the side here. And we're gonna do elephant, because I wanna see what those hips are doing. And let's give you a medium and an extra light spring. And you're gonna stand on top here, placing your, actually you're not gonna place your feet up against the shoulder blocks because of—
I'm so short.
because of the height. But let's do this. I'm gonna give you, these have become my new favorite prop to use.
They look like little Legos.
Yeah, they do kind of, huh? But you should automatically feel like your calves are stretching here. Okay, so with elephant, let's go ahead. I'm gonna pull this carriage in first. I'm gonna shift your body weight back because I want hips over the ankles. I like that. Now pull into my hand for me, like from this area. That's it. That's it right there. Hold. I want you to lift your side up higher here. Like reach out of this side and drop this side down. Let's see.
Can't tell if I'm doing it right.
So drop your hip and like think of reaching upward. Don't rotate your hips, but like think of lengthening out of this side towards the ceiling.
Like that?
That's better. Okay, let's see how we change things. Let's go ahead and start to press out slowly, hinging from the hips, and then use your abs to pull back in for me. That's as far as we want to go. And pull right back in, pull back in. Yes. So when you're pressing out, the work is coming from the back of the legs. When you're pulling back in, the work is coming from your abs. Does that make sense? Okay, fingertips are reaching towards me. Yes, there you go. Good. Think of reaching into my hand a little more. There, do you feel that extra length in the back of the leg?
Yes.
I want you to really hang on to that feeling here. You got it. We have another 4.
Then my hips look even this way?
They look a lot better, yes.
Because it feels like my hips are twerked so much to the right, which is weird.
It's not. It's not.
That's fascinating.
It's not perfect, but it is a lot better than how we started. Because this side still is so tight, that is why I'm wanting to release it a little bit. Let's do one more. Think of like that.
Okay, it like feels like my hips are twerked so far to the side, but it's interesting.
Yeah, okay, and go ahead and one more for fun. Now that you have a sense of what it feels like, good. And then come back in carefully. Let me release. Okay, and then exit off to the side there. Good.
It makes sense. If I've been like twerked for so long, then like being straight feels like so weird.
Well, it's not even that. It's about how tight the hips are gonna be.
Tight,
so yes, so what I wanna do here is have a seat, and then let's see, let's face the back here. Let's place the feet through the headrest. And we're gonna just do some natural chest expansion here. So grab a hold of your loops. Okay. And yeah, there you go. Point out through your toes. So let's see here. Hang on just a second. Come back in. So flex your feet for me. I want you to take your left hip back a little bit. So this is like where, when you want to do your own practice, how can you get yourself in better alignment? If you look at your feet now, they are looking a lot more in alignment, but you probably feel a little bit more of a pull occurring.
It just feels like my hips are twerked to the side. Like it feels like my hips are like this.
And
but
that's a completely normal feeling when things are like back into.
If they're used to being wonky, then yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So this is a rule of thumb when you're like, I need to double check my positioning. Flex your feet here, okay? You can even point your toes now. Do they look in alignment?
They do now, yeah.
Yeah, looks great. Okay, now we can begin. So let's go ahead. Lift your chest up towards me, shoulders down, and actually start with your arms on the outside of the frame. And think of these heavy water buckets just sitting here, like literally dropping down. Look straight ahead for me. Ooh, yeah. No shoulder injuries, right?
Nothing, no, not really.
Okay,
but my shoulders, like they pop a lot. Like I'll be playing my singing bowls and they'll just be like crack, 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 crack. And it doesn't hurt, but like they've always been very like snack, crackle, poppy.
So that's what I just noticed right now. What we need to do is educate you on where to engage, because they're just not being engaged that's properly. So we're gonna slow things down here, okay? So take your arms out to the side more. All right, now with the shoulders already dropping down, just like that, pull your ribs in. Now I want you, where my fingers are at right here, I want you to start using those muscles first and hold right there. Then slowly release, bring it forward. Now again, hold. Do you see the difference? I shorten your range of motion.
Yes.
And the first thing you're even doing before you're pulling back is engaging, and I don't feel any of the joints moving, do you? That's the difference between engagement and just actually working through the movement pattern. And that's in everything, not just this exercise, it's engagement in your glute, engagement in your abs. How do we isolate something before we actually start moving with it?
Yeah, I can feel it more now.
Good. Last time. Let's change up the pattern. So let's turn the palms in to look at your body. Yes, so shoulders down, ribs are closed, start to engage below the armpit first. Pause right there, slowly bring it forward. So this is gonna emphasize more of your tricep as well. And let's relax this right shoulder. Focus on the right arm going back a little bit more, and not so much the left side. And Last 2. And 1. Good. And let's really start to take your loops right above your elbow for butterfly. This is going to put a huge focus on strengthening the back of the shoulder. So palms are looking at you. Elbows are just slightly below. Yes, nice and tall for me. Abs are in. And I want you to focus first on engaging these muscles where my fingers are at and start to open your arms out. Hold right there and then start to pull right back in. So it's really easy to start to pop open the ribs. So I'm gonna have you lean forward a little bit. Yep, let's close out those ribs. Hold, now super slow, really slow to open, open, open. Hold right there. And then start to slowly close it. And then open, open, open. Hold, good. Trying to drop this, because you're wanting to use the trapeze muscle here.
It wants to go like this.
Yeah, so that's where I notice it trying to move first, where it's like I want you to use a posterior deltoid.
Well, no wonder I'm always feeling pinching in that side.
Oh yeah, that's like your natural tendency.
Because I'm like, I'll get done with like my movement or whatever, and it just feels like it's like.
And you don't even realize it.
No, I'm like, why does that side always hurt?
Yeah.
So
just remind yourself, take a moment to soften, and I literally want your arms in your peripheral vision, so they're not supposed to go behind you. So keep them in your frontal plane here. Good, ribs are closing again. Yes. And again for 3. I have not, well there we go. I was like, oh, I have not heard anything.
They're like that. They don't.
So don't open as wide.
Like there.
Okay, yes, so like that for 3, right there. And
Is it
2.
bad that they're popping, or?
Not bad, it's just that we're trying to stabilize those joints with the surrounding muscles. It's almost like the other muscles don't know what to do. They're like, I don't know, we're just hanging out here. The other ones have been playing this game this whole time, and we're just
like snap,
just
crackle, pop.
Yeah, so it's like, how do we train the other muscles to contribute, because it's a team.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we don't want just one muscle working, then that's going to be wear and tear on our body. We want the full experience on how every single muscle group can help us so that we achieve better.
So maybe I have like dominant muscles in my shoulders that are like taking over, and then the rest is like,
yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. But that's why Pilates helps so much, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go ahead and do, let's do some side overs with you. Actually, no, I don't want to do side. I want to do seated rotation. So we're going to turn and face the window here. And you're going to, I want you to go ahead and zigzag the leg. So take your right leg back so it's right up against the shoulder blocks. And then you're going to take your left foot so it's right up against your thigh. Okay, so let me have you hang on to this loop. So you're going to interlace your hands and you're going to make this like small little like basketball hoop here. Okay, so elbows are wide. Now, and I want this exercise for you because I want to again feel, how does this rotation when we are working through it? So try to drop this hip down. Let's go ahead and close the ribs, abs are in, and then when you're ready, very slowly start to rotate to the left here for me. Your eyesight can follow, and start to come back through center, pausing. And then again, we take the rotation, and hold. And take that rotation, and come back through center and hold. Good, shoulders are down. This movement is coming from, you talked about that in the beginning about you like the way Pilates moves the spine. Mm-hmm. That's why in a healthy individual, we are activating all types of spinal movement here. Good, and when I say healthy individual, it's like they don't have any herniated, bulging, you know, any type of special populations that are holding them back from recreating this. And let's do 2 more. Looks good. And last time. And back through center. Excellent. Go ahead and hang that up. Let's turn it around. Let's see how this side does. So interlace those hands. Again, find that small circle in front of you. Okay, remember, new side, ribs are closing in. Keeping the weight of your sits bones down. Let's take a rotation. And let's drop your left shoulder. Yes, try to stay lifted through the chest so you're not collapsing. So can we take that left elbow out wider? Yeah. How does this side feel?
A little more stiff, like it feels
like more robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt more intuitive on the other side.
Yeah. Again, 4 more here. If we start to layer this all together, it's still the same side. Remember when you're on your back and you're reaching over to your right hip? Same thing. We're trying to loosen it up. When you were trying to do your typewriter and your ribs moving, it wouldn't move a lot to the left side. So again, same thing. We're trying to pull it all together. It's like a puzzle. And then go ahead and relax it. Okay, we are gonna do your favorite exercise. We're gonna do Swan. So because this is one of my favorites to, again, help with stretching out the low back. So let's keep you there. You're gonna be on your stomach, facing the foot bar. And yes, and with extension, it's very important to keep the feet separated so that we're not compressing the spine. Specifically, it's really helpful for you too. So let me have you think of your hips pressing into the box for me. Like you are literally giving that engagement, which allows your thighs to activate and they float off the box. There's some pointing out through your toes. Beautiful, I love it. Okay, from here, you're gonna push out to 2 straight arms. Now, when you lift up, you're gonna start to lift your chest, drop your shoulders, and then start to lower everything back down again. And we're lifting up. Let me pull this leg in a little bit, right there. Good. Lower down even further, right here. Now lift up. For 3. And down. On the next 3, I'm going to change it so that you're not coming up into a high swan. You're going to come up halfway. So think of your shoulder blades moving down right there. Drop your chin for me and then lower everything. You'll do 2 more like this. So as you lift up, think of gliding your shoulder blades down. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Hold. Do you feel the more specific region right here working? And then lower down. Let's do this one more time. Good. And now we're gonna add on. So lower back down. You're gonna bend your elbows to come in towards the foot bar. Elbows are wide, so lift them up, good, shoulders down. You're using these muscles to straighten out your arms. You're using these muscles to lift through your chest. Lift your chest. Right there, hold. And then start to lower everything down, straight arms. Bend it back in. Okay, let's try that again. So you're using these muscles to straighten your arms. Not yet, just straighten your arms. Push out. Now use these muscles to lift your chest with straight arms. Yes, I love that. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay, go ahead, lower down. Okay, one more time, bend your elbows to come in. And press out. Lift your chest. Activate. And then lower everything down and bring it back in. As much as you like a good stretch, the full on extension work, come on back in. It's not to your most benefit because you naturally want to live like that. You're like, no, this feels good, it's good. That's why you can come up so high.
Yeah.
Because of that anterior pelvic tilt, how it's overly exaggerated. Some people couldn't even sit like that or lay like that. That would be like, oh my God, is this so uncomfortable? Go and exit off to the side for me.
I know, like I was doing, what is it called, breaststroke, where you like press up and out. And I like taught it one time and everyone was like, this is really hard. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize this was
so that's where it's like, you don't need that work. You need to minimize the range because you live in very wide range.
Well, since I do a lot of yoga, I think my spine is very flexible. And so I can like really like flex back, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just...
So I would modify that to like, we need to shorten that. So it's not, even though it feels good, it's not necessarily the best exercise or the best range of motion for you is what I want you to understand about that too. We're gonna finish with roll down. So go ahead, stand, scoot over to the right there so you can, your hands will be able to meet them in the well. No, you can step outside. Yeah, so just step to the right a tiny bit, right there. Okay, so you're gonna face out that way. And then let's go ahead and, no, you'll face this way. Yep. And you're gonna reach your arms up overhead and you're gonna dive all the way. So fingertips are gonna reach into the well there. Yeah. Good. And let's see, how are we feeling? Let's push back that left hip a little bit. Think of the left hip reaching higher to the ceiling. Yes, there you go. Now with that being said, begin to rebuild, restack your body. Nice and slow, head being the last thing to come up, shoulders back. One more time for me. Reach those arms up. Let's take a dive. Yeah. There you go. Look good with those hips. How are those feeling?
I'm really pressing that left hip up. That's probably why it looks, but it feels wonky.
It's a conscious decision. Go ahead and start to bring it back up. Rebuild. Shoulders back. Take an exhale. Awesome.
Yay.
Good work today.
Thank you.
Yeah.